rush through the class because there's so much to cover. First of all, welcome to the Maimani Leadership Graduation. Before we get into the details of what the Maimani Leadership is, I want to just thank all the parents for coming. I think it's very special because on campus, there's a lot that goes on campus, and students are exposed to a lot of different things. And it's usually without the knowledge of their parents of what's going on. Either you're far away, you're not there all day long, and I'm on campus, and there's a lot of crazy things there. There's rabbis, there's Jews for Jesus, there's a Christian club, everybody's trying to do something to the students walking down the breezeway. So I think it's very special when parents are somewhat involved or interested in what their students are, what their children are doing, and come out to see who's out there, which rabbi is brainwashing them, and what's going on. So thank you very much. Also want to say thank you to some of our friends who came to join us. Just a little bit of background, quickly for the parents who may not. My name is Moshe Goldstein, Rabbi Goldstein. I work for the JEC. And the JEC is an organization that focuses on education, Jewish education, in many realms. They have a Hebrew school, they have adult classes, they have high holiday programs. I am exclusively on campus, college, and I basically spend the whole day on campus, 4 days a week, trying to meet as many Jewish students as possible, using my Judar, and just trying to learn with them, educate them about what it means to be Jewish, who we are, where we come from. A lot of us grew up about many, many misconceptions about Judaism. So my goal is to really just learn with people and educate them. At the same time, we have Shabbat dinners, we have trips during the winter and summer breaks to Israel, domestic trips, all the same concept, the same idea of learning, educating. So that's what I do. The Maimonides program is very unique in that it was a concept that was thought of about, I think it was started 15 years ago on Michigan, University of Michigan, by a rabbi there who realized that students love to learn, but there's a problem because they can't commit to anything. So that's so, flaky. Sorry to say that. But so he thought of this idea that if we just pay them a stipend, and we offer a stipend to come to a class, then maybe that will attract them. And then once they come, they'll learn. So the truth is, it took off like wildfire. It's now on over 50 campuses. I'm aware of some campuses that have 2 to 3 classes going on, the ones that have more Jewish student body. So the idea being that you come, you must come because you sign up if you want the stipend, and you come to 10, 12 classes. You try to cover a curriculum of Jewish thought, and many times it ends in a group trip, which didn't work out with us. We're still trying to work out some trips, but many times they go to Israel together as one whole, which is really incredible. And the idea of the journals, we have these journals that the students write in after the class, of their thoughts, their feelings. So that really makes a connection. I get a feedback of what they understood, what they didn't understand. They get to throw out their questions without feeling uncomfortable. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program. And I've heard from many rabbis that many times the students say, wow, that was so amazing, keep your money. You can keep the money, rabbi, you don't have to do that, right? Many times I've heard that students say, keep your money, it's so awesome, have some time to come learn, it was so enlightening, it was so awesome, I never got to a Hebrew school, I never had a chance to learn. The truth is, we call it like college level Hebrew school. When you go to Hebrew school, you learn so much, but it's just basically Bible stories and songs, and how much can a 10-year-old really absorb on a sophisticated level? So we created this concept of taking Jewish study to a college level. You're in college now, hopefully more mature, and your mind is more mature, sophisticated. Let's try these things again. So that's the idea. It really, you'll hopefully hear from some of the students tonight, and I think the feeling was mutual. They really felt that they enjoyed it, gained a lot, broke down a lot of walls that they didn't understand before. I wanted to share one thought. It was pretty obvious throughout all the classes that I was always rushing. There was so much to cover, so much to cover. So the truth is, and I told this to the students, that it's all just the tip of the iceberg. We have only begun to see that there's so much to learn about. I want to share a quick Torah thought. Okay? There's a custom we have in the synagogue. Every weekend on Shabbat, we read from the Torah. So when we finish a whole book from the Torah, there's a statement that everybody gets up and it shouts out loud and it says, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek. Be strong, you can do it, move on. So the question is, when you finish a book, you yell out, we can do it, be strong. That's like the guy's about to climb Mount Everest. You don't say anything to him. When he gets to the top, you say, you can do it, man, you can do it. He's already on the top. I would think the proper time to say, Chazak, Chazak, be strong, would be when you're about to begin the Torah reading. About to study. Be strong, go through with it, commit yourself, keep going, keep learning. Why at the end? The answer is because in Jewish wisdom, there is no end. When you finish the book, you start scratching the surface. Now you go back to the beginning, and you start again, and now you're familiar with some of the general ideas, you get a bigger context. Now you go back, more context means more questions, comparisons, going deeper and deeper, and that's the idea of the class. The idea is that we're just throwing out a little taste just to wet the palate, and realize, as somebody, I'm trying to remember some of the journal comments of, oh wow, I didn't realize that there's answers to these questions, I never thought to ask such questions, I didn't realize you could ask some questions, I thought it's bad to ask questions, and the one thing that we try to give over was that questions are our best friend, we love questions, and this is just scratching the surface, and based on the feedback we have, I think it's like almost everybody already said that they want to continue next semester in the fall. There's actually, my mind is 2, where you go a little deeper, it's more broken into smaller groups, so it can be more individualized, and I'm almost positive that about everybody said that they want to continue next semester, so really guys, very proud of you. Okay, now, I have to thank a bunch of people. First off, the JEC rabbis, who, although we just show up at 8 o'clock every Monday night, and there's food there, and there's a room there, and there's a computer set up to do the journals, but they are behind the scenes taking care of all the logistics, so I want to thank them very much. And second, I'd like to thank my wife, because I'm on campus all day on Monday, come home for an hour, prepare while the kids are jumping up and down. You guys know about that, you've seen that in action. And then I went back out again an hour later, and I disappeared till 10:30 at night. So that's tremendous. I mean, I can't be there unless she lets me come, so that's the bottom line. As we learned in one of the classes, the woman is in charge, so if not for her, there would be no class. That's number one. She actually helped make some of the food, the baked ziti, the last 2 or 3 times. It was, hey, forget all the other stuff. She also helped set up tonight, the event, and also thank you for coming out and giving one of the classes. And I know she really met up with a number of the girls, one-on-one, and hopefully next semester, when we do this level 2, she will be more involved in meeting some of the one-on-ones. So I thank you very much for that. And finally, I need to thank the one who's really responsible for this whole thing, because somebody's got to come up with the money to give you guys. So Rabbi Feder, who's my boss over here, he is responsible for the funding, helping bring that in, and I want to thank him very much, and hopefully we will be able to do that again next semester. And I would like to ask him to come up and just share a few words. You can clap. Please.
So Rabbi Goldstein told you you're having 10 classes of Jewish thought and insight, and I figured on the last class, we'll try to get through the book. Good, you have a sense of humor. I guess after that whole introduction, I have to thank my wife as well. She really wanted to come, but with 6 kids, one of them being a newborn, she wasn't able to make it tonight. But on our anniversary, she allowed me to be here. And there's nowhere else we'd rather be as helping you guys and speaking to you guys, both inspiring and being inspired by our future Jewish leaders who are sitting in this room. I wanted to make 2 points, and I'll be quick. What does it take to become a Jewish leader? You're on a leadership program, you came for 10 sessions, you heard from the rabbi, you heard from other successful individuals who are active in the Jewish community, you've been on Shabbatons. So what does it take to become a Jewish leader? So I'd imagine most of you would answer, if we were doing a class discussion, You would say, well, what did Abraham do for a parnasa, for a livelihood? What did Abraham do? What did Jacob do? What did King David do? I'll let the rabbi say. Rabbi Goldstein, what did they do? They were shepherds. So you're all in college, and Bernie Marcus from Home Depot came and told us the job market out there is pretty tough. Maybe we should all go become shepherds, right? Thank you, Michael. So, it's very interesting. There's one thing that we really, really have to keep in mind as we look to the future to become future Jewish leaders and as we care about our community. There are many different things, many different attributes, but we're not going to go into all of them. I'm just going to bring you one statement from the Torah. The statement in the Torah says that God assigns the Levites, the Levim, one of their jobs is to protect the Jewish people from coming too close to the Ohel, to the tent, to the holy temple, to the holy tabernacle. And the Torah says, I'm just going to read one verse. It says, then I assigned the Levites to be presented to Aaron and his sons from among the children of Israel one time, to perform the service of the children of Israel 2 times, in the tent of meeting, and to provide atonement for the children of Israel. It says children of Israel 3 times, so that there will not be a plague amongst the children of Israel 4 times. If you don't protect them, there will be a plague. When the children of Israel approach the sanctuary. And if there's nothing else you've learned from learning Torah many, many times, is it's all in this relatively small book, How to Live Our Life, the blueprints for how to get the best out of life. And there's nothing extra, and if there's something that seems to be extra, it's there to teach us a lesson in 2013 for our own lives. And the question is, why does it say, protect and care about the children of Israel, children of Israel, children of Israel, 5 times in the same verse? And it's very interesting, the commentaries tell us that the same way we have the 5 books of Moses, which is the Torah, and we're dedicating a new Torah written in Israel on Sunday. You're all invited. We have a brand new Torah, which is one of the holiest things that we have on this earth to guide us, for us to learn and grow and connect. The lesson is that each and every Jewish person is like the 5 books of the Torah. They're so special. The same way you get up in the room or you run over to kiss the Torah, and God forbid if you drop it on the floor, we would fast, and we would mourn. The Torah is so special. God is teaching us that each and every Jew is so special and is so important. And as we try to fight the assimilation tide out there and apathy, most young people don't care about Judaism. They went to Hebrew school. It was kind of boring. Hebrew homework and tests, and that's all there is. And hopefully you found out a lot more insight and meaning in the last few months, experiencing Shabbos, learning at Rabbi and Mrs. Goldstein's classes, and all the other people who came to speak. We find it so much more than that. But it's so important to be a Jewish leader, is that we care about each and every Jew. And they're as if it's a holy Sefer Torah, a holy Torah scribe. That's so special. One more quick point. It says that after the sin of the golden calf, the Jewish people had dropped many, many levels in their spirituality. Moses says he saw in his heart that the Jews were almost like scattered sheep, roaming through the mountains without a leader, not knowing which way to go. That was the parable for what the Jewish nation looked like after the golden calf. And we know they were on a very high spiritual level right before the sin of the golden calf. And after the sin of the golden calf, they had dropped so many levels. And it's very interesting. They looked the same. They talked the same. They allowed Moses to destroy the golden calf, and they didn't say anything. They said, we're sorry, let's move on. And yet somehow they lost the momentum. Somehow spiritually, although they may have had a good hair day the next day, they looked the same. But deep inside, they lost their spiritual momentum and were no longer the same person. We feed our soul food of Torah and mitzvos, and they have lost that momentum and that level. It's almost like a sports team, if you can imagine, the Miami Heat winning time after time after time. They're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Right. He's giving blessings in the back. And all of a sudden, after 30 games in a row, they lose one game. Even if they find out that somebody cheated and it was a disqualified loss, they've lost the momentum. They're changed, they're different. They don't have that extra oomph in Yiddish. And so therefore, I plead with all of you. You've gained so much over the last few months with Rabbi Goldstein and the JEC and all the speakers, and we're going to end with a bang tonight with a very special speaker. But don't take that spiritual momentum and lose it over the summer and lose it as the semester ends or as the JEC's Maimonides program ends. Rather, speak with Rabbi Goldstein what offerings, what classes, one-on-one, groups, other Shabbatons, other Friday night dinners or experiences can you be involved with so that you can keep the momentum growing. And out of this room, we'll have our future Jewish leadership that will take the community into the next era.
Thank you, Rabbi Feder. Now, it's nice to hear from the rabbis and shoot their own horn, but I want to, this was very hard for me to do, I wanted to call up some students to take 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes to talk about the program. It was very hard to decide who to call, who not to call. So I called a few people, some people said not really, a little nervous, and then others say yes, but if you feel that you wanted to say something, I didn't call you, you're welcome to come right up, free mic. But let's start with ladies first, with Lidi.
Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Alright, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lehi Nigri. I'm from Israel, as you can tell by my thick accent. I'm a sophomore at Florida Atlantic University. And Rabbi G asked me to say some words about my personal experience with Maimonides. So let's face it, guys, being Jewish is not easy. Having to live our life through the process of living and performing Tikkun Olam, having to live our lives as presenting ideals to the other nations of the universe, it's definitely not easy. It's a big responsibility. But although not easy, Judaism definitely is the most rewarding gift that each and every one of us in this room has ever and will ever receive in their lives. You see, my parents have always told me that doesn't matter where I go, doesn't matter what kind of situation I'm going through, doesn't matter who I'm with, I always have to take with me my precious Jewish identity. I always have to advocate for it and know what it's really all about, what my true neshama, my true soul, is really all about. So when I moved to the United States of America, when I moved here, I faced some difficulties. Imagine how tough it is, how challenging it is, how hard it is to be taken away from the state of the Jewish nation, to be taken away from a place where every single individual, whether they practice it or doesn't, they know that what Shabbat is. They know why there is absolutely no way why you would go to school on Yom Kippur or have an exam that day. Imagine how easy it is and how convenient it is to live the Jewish life in Israel. But when you move here, outside of that country, you face all those temptations, all the craziness around you. And I'm going to be open with you, and I'm going to be honest with you. I made some mistakes, but thank you for Rabbi G. Rabbi G's great passion and enthusiasm, and this wonderful and beneficial Maimonides program. I was able to get back on the right track. And I'd like to thank you for that, Rabbi G. And the JEC for sponsorship. Thank you, Rabbi, and the JEC for teaching me that, teaching this all entire class, that life is really not about what you have, but it's about who you are. Thank you for teaching us that. Thank you for teaching us that as Jewish individuals on this earth planet, our purpose in life is to connect and correct. Thank you, Rabbi, for teaching us that mitzvahs are not a hassle, but on the other hand, they're just guidelines for a guide and just a gift for us to be able to maintain a better life with restrictions, or else we can all just lose it. Thank you, Rabbi, for teaching us that it's much more rewarding and beneficial for us to enrich our soul, our neshama, rather than not being able to overcome and just resisting and giving up to the animal within us. And finally, Rabbi, thank you for teaching us that for one bad thing that may occur to us during the day, at least 500 wonderful miracles can happen to us every day. Right? That's what all of us remember, right? So with that being said, I definitely look forward to more programs from the JEC, to more enriching as I seek to strengthen my emun and my belief. And thank you for this wonderful constant involvement for the Jewish student on campus. Thank you.
Lee forgot to mention one thing, that she already is a leader. She works for the JEC in the Hebrew school. So thank you for that. Okay, the next student, I didn't realize 2 Israelis in a row. But Heide's accent, he had a little French flavor to it also, I think. So Matan, I'm going to share a few words about it.
Hello, my name is Matan, and I would like to say thank you to my beautiful family for being here, and of course Rabbi Goldstein. The first time I actually met Rabbi I was meeting my sister on campus for some lunch, and she told me, listen, after me with Rabbi Goldstein, and right away I thought to myself, oh no, another rabbi. Since I immediately pictured an older, middle-aged man who was going to preach to me and tell me how important it is to change my lifestyle. But when I saw how accepting and genuinely passionate Rabbi Goldstein was, it changed my mind. Even though students would cancel for tests and club meetings and whatnot, he never gave up and would still try to do the best and at a better and more convenient time. I could see how he just wants to talk and tell somebody something special that might just fascinate them, just as much as he did the first time he heard it from his rabbi. As a child, I grew up not very religious. However, I did go to yeshiva. And growing up, when I got close to my 13th birthday, I decided to, since I'm take up on my own deeds, that I'm gonna start keeping Shabbat. But when I moved to Florida, I went to a public school and I didn't have too many Jewish friends, so it didn't last for too long. It only lasted for a few years. And so I'm really glad I met Rabbi last year. And he's a very unique rabbi. He's very different from all the rabbis I've met before. So I've been around the Jewish community a lot throughout my life. And throughout my day, I constantly remember things that he tells us through our classes and through our meetings and stuff, and it just puts a smile on my face. And he's just so passionate about his work and about the kids and FAU and about everything. And being I'm a full-time student, I work full-time too. I work a lot, and it's nice to meet up with Rabbi's class 2 hours a week and just unwind, relax, and hang out. And he makes us think about things that we don't think about on a daily basis in the class. So, we wouldn't just think about it in school or with our friends, and we wouldn't just talk about that usually. And I really appreciate the opportunity that the Maimonides program gives us for this class. Thank you.
Okay, we're running a little late, but I think we need one representative, maybe pie. I mean.
Yeah, let's go.
So Ellie, if you could just do 2 minutes, Eli? You got it? You got it? Okay.
You're up.
Alright, I took this class, so I was a little apprehensive about taking that first, and I realized that it would be mostly for, like, beneficial towards me. I got to spend a lot of time with quality people here, like my peers and all, and learn a lot also. Like, I'm pretty positive I can answer things about, like, Jewish culture and stuff like that to people who are asking me that. I want to thank Rabbi G. He did a really good job. I think everyone can bring out of this like a positive experience. And thank you. That's about it.
Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to call everybody up, and I'm going to give you guys a certificate and a gift, a book. The book is This is a book that my rabbi wrote, who, when I was in yeshiva, inspired me tremendously. He just put this book out a few years ago. Actually, I'm sure I flashed it in front of you a few times. A lot of the concepts that we learned about throughout the class are talked about in this book. So we're going to give you each a copy of this book as a gift. What we're going to try to do, we're going to try to call everybody up really fast. Take a picture, because we have to do this in 15 minutes. Okay? And then the other speakers coming in. And then I want to try to take a group picture after. All by 9:20. Okay? So I think it's in alphabetical order. Good luck, huh? It's going to be in alphabetical order from your last name. So I'm going to hand it in to the photographer. Ready? Oh, nice. Okay. Let's start with Yvette.